Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Betty Ball. No, not Betty Ball Z. Wow, Betty Overwatch League Season 5, Week 3, the pregame show. I am Albinojoe, and with me, the co-host today, the ever so awesome Utech himself. How you doing, Utech?
Hey, not too bad, my bald brother.
Oh dear, everyone knows now. Anyway, with us today, also a guest host. You know him, 30. 30, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Glad to have both you guys here on the show today, and something that we can talk about. Something right out the gate that I really want to hit. 3Dan's One Cup is coming out of the gate really, really strong. What can beat that team?
Coordination. Being a team. That's what beat that team.
Yeah, for me, it's a lot of it is falling on the shoulders of Heron, as we might expect. Anyone who's watched those first two matches from 3Dance One Cup know how good he is on Pharah, and he literally frags out and just wins some fights straight up due to his Pharah play. Um, Anything besides Pharah has been less than stellar, but teams have really not given 3Dance One Cup a composition that makes them struggle with Pharah though. So I think that's probably the first key point. And the second one is the rest of the five, excluding Heron, they're all very coordinated as a 5-man unit. So it's tough to take them down. So you have to sort of know, where do you divide your resources? Do you focus on Heron or do you focus on the rest of his team?
Yeah, and that's kind of the big question, especially with there is a strategy out there where you just kind of try to overwhelm them 6v5 while ignoring the Heron, or ignoring the Heron, yeah, or 6v4 in most cases, because that Mercy is going to be on him, the Pharah, at all times. So that's definitely a key component to their team play. But something else to wonder: the two teams that they played, all dab and no blab and casting couch, not necessarily some of the strongest rosters that we originally thought coming out of the gate. Do you think their undefeated record right now is a fluke? 30, asking you specifically, as me and Utech have a very clear bias.
3 Dance One Cup.
Yes.
Um, no, I mean, I think they're playing well above their expectations based on their team roster on paper after the draft. I also like to just point out, like, TR Dirty Dan, he has really outperformed what any expectation I had of him. So he's really following up a lot on what Heron is doing from the sky. And also, both of the weeks they've had their Reinhardts, whoever it is, be really aggressive, and I think that really helps alleviate pressure from Heron as well. But to answer your question, I don't think it's a fluke. I think they're playing phenomenally well, and if anything, it's those other two teams that are playing well below their expectations.
Them spotting words. Utech, do you think it's a fluke that they're undefeated?
No, I actually agree wholeheartedly with 30. One thing that we have not seen uh coming out of the two teams that have gone up against them is either a direct answer to Heron's Farah or a direct answer to the rest of the crew. And that usually is the name of the game when trying to deal with a Farrakhamp, especially a pharmacy. If one team can't deal with one or the other, you're going to have difficulty just from that two front offensive. Definitely Heron getting a lot of the spotlight, but we can't forget um two of the D's in the three Dans one cup, which we have Dirty Dan and Dano. Dano pulling a lot of weight this season purely with his Ana play. Not too many people know how to really deal with it, considering multiple seasons in the past, Ana has been out of the meta, and even Dano has been good with that hero specifically, even when she wasn't meta. So now with the changes of the nano boost, of being able to heal, the heal that pierces full health targets, it's kind of amazing just how well she has uh jumped jumped back into the healing slot. As well as you have to remember, Dirty Dan is also a very competent hit scan player himself, and he went for $0. He went for
Yeah.
free to this team.
Yeah, that's
No one,
insane.
no
A
one
literal
knew
steal.
that he was gonna be doing anything.
Yeah, his McCree is much more than $0.
Well, and every player on that team, I feel like you got to bargain on. You know, we were talking. Utech was just talking about Dano, but it's a very strange moment when we're talking about Heron week after week on this team, but they have Josh Danko on the team, who, you know, he's applying all the damage all the time, doing everything. That Zarya's big, and yeah, Dano does his role really well. Heron does his role really, really well, and the rest of the team just gels. They're just it's so hard to imagine how you can stop them. If you could stop the pharmacy dive or the pharmacy strats that they have, you know, that's kind of the key to it. And it's just the question is how. Like, you know what you have to do. You know what they're gonna do. Just the big old how are you gonna do it? How are you gonna stop it?
And I think Josh Danko is actually the key to their ground game, especially to the five, the people that are not Heron that's in the skies. Um, with if you have a very very good Zarya player like Josh Danko can, not only are you allowing the front line or whoever gets dove, 400 extra HP of health, but you're also just stacking on top of that a lot more DPS than you normally would be happening, and it's quite amazing at his level of play that how he is able to enable his team.
Yeah. Well, I guess this was a moot point. We didn't have any real strategies to tackle them. We just said they're great. It's an
Well,
amazing team.
I mean, I have strats to counter them, but I'd rather not reveal them. Obviously,
Oh.
because we're playing them tonight.
Oh, well, 30. Hopefully you could bust out some spicy tech to bring them down, because I don't like undefeated teams in this league unless they're me.
I think the only strat that you can really do right now if you're not very mechanically skilled is to try to play the psychological game and try to tilt one of them. I don't know. It could work. Maybe you can have an elaborate ruse to bring out someone's mom to a nice date and take them to a nice fancy lobster dinner and then
Oh God.
stand them up.
Okay. All right. All right. We're done with this. No, we don't encourage. We do not condone any of that. Anyway, next topic here. Walmy maybe bottom of the standings with, I believe, just at bottom of the standings 0-0. Or sorry, 0-6. Not a win on the board against the teams that they played. Casting Couch and the bench life of Zach and Cody. What can this team do to start seeing wins? Utech, you go first.
Sorry, what was the question? I was
What
reading
can
the fans.
what can Walmy maybe do to start seeing some wins, to get some W's on the board for their team?
I definitely think they can do one of two things. Either have their star player No Wonder in that star DPS. I know he's been heavily favoring the Widow. He can get those key picks, but the rest of his team is sort of lagging behind in what he can provide. So it maybe if he plays something that can stick with the team, maybe such as a McCree, or if he's able to do something else. Who knows? Maybe if they have to play, put him on Bastion and then do a protect the president comp, I think that might help the rest of his team keep up to speed with No Wonder. That or who knows? I think maybe they'll have to try something new with their front line. I know playing against them, one of the things that I noticed is that there was a few positional things I was able to exploit and happy to do so. But I think if they work a little bit on positioning as a team, they'll be able to shore up some of those weaknesses.
Yeah. For me, it all comes down to coordination. On paper, all these players are very good. Tree and No Wonder, I think, have performed extremely well both of the weeks, despite their losses. But for me, even playing against them, it seemed like they just didn't really know. At certain points during a fight, they didn't know what to do. Like maybe there was the shot call at the start of the fight, like, "Hey, dive tanks, jump here." But then after that, it just became like pandemonium. Alt usage was kind of sloppy. Um, I think just this team needs to practice more. And honestly, I think they're going to get their first win today.
Ooh. First win against none other than Mad Cow Disease. And Mad Cow Disease isn't looking too bad. I think, it'd be awesome to see a win against that team. But Bench Life and Casting Couch, two teams that are on par with Mad Cow Disease, are teams that they've already been swept against. But I do full-heartedly agree in that, practicing together and playing together. I think the synergy needs to be there. You can always make the call-outs. You can make you could tell people what to do. You could try and make them hold their alts or use their alts or whatever you need them to do by talking. But if you just play and put in the reps as a team consistently, you kind of just know how someone's going to play, and they know how you're going to play. And then from there, you kind of just gel, and you're able to pull out some wins or some clutch alts or positioning or something to that effect. And that's kind of what this whole entire league's about. It's just getting a group of people and practicing a couple games a week and getting it down. Specifically, players, as you were saying, there's not really a weak place on the team. There's some teams that have bigger, farther down floors than others. Scotch and Blab being the two cheapest members of that team, I don't think it's a problem with their skill level as much as just that team needs to be able to talk, coordinate, and do what they do, whether it's naturally or, being spoken. Naturally is obviously preferred more than that. But, yeah, I guess I've said everything I want to say about that. Any other remarks on me, maybe?
Overall, they are a better team than the 0-6 map record shows, and it's only the first 2 weeks. Kind of still a small sample size, and like I said, I think they're getting their first win today, and I think it only goes up from here.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree with 30. Definitely think that they can pull out more wins than just what the first 2 weeks have shown. And you know what? I think once they get that first 1 to 2 victories, it'll boost their morale and it'll snowball from there.
Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they can also look at that footage then, and then kind of realize, oh, what did we do that actually worked this time?
Yeah. Once they find a winning formula for what they can do, and they can kind of dive deeper into that, I think that'll definitely help them out a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other bottom team that is not much higher than Walmy may be Alt Dab No Blab. Looking at this team, I thought that they were going to be amazing and have a blowout season, just doing all sorts of work with Freefie and Senpai, because together they are a wonder kid duo that you can't stop. But this is not necessarily looking the best for them at this point, as they they played 3 Dans 1 Cup, the best team in the league so far, and they also played the week after where they were able to get their first win against Mad Cow Disease. But this team it's kind of showing that DPS isn't the only thing you need. What's kind of the advice for that team, Utech specifically, that they could possibly throw down to see more W's on the board than just one?
Well, before I go into that, I do want to say, on paper it did look like they were going to be a lot stronger, and I think that is because more of our presuppositions for how a team would work is based on previous seasons where we had nothing but mirror matches, where it was purely dive or purely this or purely that, and if you had someone who could just outshine in DPS, that would be enough because you knew what was going to be playing on tanks, you know what was going to be playing on as healers, and you could just outshine in the mirror match. Now, since it's a lot more of a rock paper scissors, some people are able to gonna outshine in certain roles. Having that the tank line just to create space for your DPS is a huge necessity. So I think it is the supporting cast for the two DPS. They can do a lot, but if they get picked out right away and get kind of take their space away, they're not going to be able to do what they need to do and shine.
Yeah, and I believe that this team they've had to use subs the first 2 weeks, right? I mean, Sword Mace hasn't seen play
That
this
is
week or this season
true.
yet. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know before the season he was grinding and he was a pretty good prospect in the draft. So I think maybe the full lineup might reveal a power shift upward. But to go off of what Utech said, yeah, like their DPS are doing the work. They're carrying. I seen maybe some weird complaints about uh Free maybe playing hit scan. Like maybe their DPS picks are kind of all over the place. Like they're kind of just sort of randomly picking DPS heroes and hopefully something sticks. For me, I think they actually just need to stick more to like one or two, maybe 3 heroes each, and just master those, and then and then figure out what the rest of the team needs to do to play around those DPS picks. I think it's just a formula thing for them figuring it out.
Yeah, and we'll see if that, Jordan Mace not being in for the first 2 weeks, whether he's been practicing with the whole team or not on the off nights when they're not competing here. We'll see how that, adds to the equation once we actually see him in. But anyway, enough of the teams here. Let's talk about some individuals. Last week, I don't know if anyone saw, but a player named Checkers just went crazy on Mercy and did a really, really good job. So we're going to bring her in here for an interview. If production could bring her down.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Checkers! Are you there?
Oh, I have push to talk.
Hey, there you are. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Last week you went absolutely crazy with Pistol Mercy. So I just want to open with that right away. I think on Gibraltar specifically, you got like 6, 7, or 8 kills as Pistol Mercy.
Yeah, something like that.
Why? Why and how? Explain those two questions, please.
Why? Because it fuels me and how I have over 300 hours on Mercy. I've got a lot of practice in, and it, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Does it have to do with the fact that Papa Jeff wanted to nerf the healing, so now you have to play more DPS?
If you ask literally any of the people I've played with since the beginning, every single nerf, like I call her nerfy at this point, because every single nerf, it's just like I get super upset about it. She's my main. I love playing her, and it kind of pushes me to do better, like to show them like, okay, nerf me all you want, I'm still gonna be the best Mercy, you know.
Yeah.
Then,
and you
go ahead.
You have been showing that, especially, and again, specifically that Gibraltar map. I believe there was a call out on the team that you were playing against. I've heard this from the grapevine that someone was yelling to peel Mercy off of me.
Oh, really?
Yes. So knowing that, do you, is that going to make your play? Like, do you plan to Valk an attack, or do you just Valk and then you see the opportunity to get a kill, or how does that go through your head?
It's really mostly, I Valk whenever I see that my team's struggling and that everybody kind of needs to be topped off. That's when, because I don't want to lose anybody. I have 1 res. And then, I'll kind of see, like Widowmaker, for instance. She's not really paying attention to me if I'm up in her face. I just kind of get up in there, and if it's an opportunity, I'll take it. But obviously, like, I kind of want to be careful as far as, Mercy's a strong healer, so I don't want to get myself killed. But like I said, I'm pretty good about seeing those opportunities and kind of taking them.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, another question that I have as well. So you play on a team with 30. We have them in the booth right now. Do you think How is playing with 30? A lot of people say a lot of very nice things about him, but is
to
he
be honest,
intimidating?
pressure
to be
at
honest,
all.
I'm not
No
here.
pressure.
Don't look at me. I'm not here to say whatever you want. Slide it down.
Honestly, I don't mean to group everybody together, but everybody's been really great. 30 included. It's been really strong playing with everybody. There's not any animosity. It's a lot of teamwork. And 30 does make a lot of really great calls. Saying, hey, let's try to focus this person. This person has ult, so it's again, not to group everybody together, but we're all kind of really cohesive in that aspect.
That is great to hear for the Baddie Friendship League Season 5. Well, 30 and Utech, do you have any other questions for Checkers before we start seeing some bad plays of the week?
I do, and a lot of it has to do with picking your brain about the whole Valkyrie update. Do you? All right, this is an opinion. This is for your opinion. Do you enjoy post moth or pre moth Mercy?
Oh, all right. I was really upset about this at first, but and I mean, I was still kind of aggressive as a Mercy before, but it's definitely. I think I've grown to like Valkyrie Mercy a little bit more. There are still things I disagree with about the update, but it's kind of pulled me out from behind the walls or from hiding for big reses or whatever. And again, like it has grown my kill count since I've been able to practice with her with the new Valkyrie. So I do enjoy the new one. It's just taken some time, which I think it's okay. You got to kind of grow with the game. It's gonna update. It's gonna evolve.
Well, there
I'll
you
keep
have
my
it,
opinions
guys.
to myself.
Papa Jeff brought down the hammer, and there's nothing you two can do about it. So, with that, we will go into the bad plays of the week. And, yeah, thanks for tuning in to the pregame show.
Sound muted.
And play of the game, of course, gonna be 30, the sharpshooter himself. I mean, it's like we always said, guys, Overwatch is easy. Just click their heads, forehead. Look at it. Look at it. It's easy. I could do that.
Yeah,
You
that's
could
pretty
do that.
simple. That's pretty
Anyone
simple.
could do that. Just click their heads. And the play of the game, gonna be no wonder with the consolation prize, as he was hitting some nice shots there. It was going to be this game-winning fight here as he just clicks the heads of the Graviton to secure his team the win, and then snipes out anyone trying to defend that card. Got this to extra rounds with some great shots. Week. And the play of the game gonna be Valkyrie, the clutch Ryan himself, coming through with a ton of huge shatters, but it was this one right here that captured the second point as he puts a ton of damage into the Graviton and then follows up with some damage on the rest of the team.
Very, very dominant here, and we're probably gonna see the first Nano Barrage here if I had to take a guess.
Yep. Oh, this is it, yeah. Where's the sneaky grab? Where does it come in? Oh, there's... Oh, the barrage happens first and then the grab. For casting couch, but play the game. We were just talking about it. QP coming in on this Reinhardt. See what he can do here. Street Space. Huge slam. Oh yeah, I remember this. Knocks the Transcendence away. And all of that swinging damage. Look at the ult charge go up, folks. And has it again. Team name. Rename. That's kind of how it's going down here. But play the game. Going over to Salvo in his first week here in Season 5, subbing in. Oh yeah, nice
Snap
random
turn.
And then a
Play of the game.
Yeah. And free fee with the tire. Not at the end, but on the defense. As this is a 3-man, this was huge. And
Coming in and big tire coming in, making sure that push is nowhere to be found.
really tragic as they had the first pick too, that Winston died, but we will see the play of the game. Gonna be Evilite on the Pharah.
Coming in, not even the big combo that they had before. They're still able to get what he wanted, being sneaky, but able to maybe get 1, 2, 3 rockets?
Humiliation.
Another kill for Checkers. More lives than most of their team. Checkers yet again.
Now, where were we? Ah, yes. Abject humiliation.
Confess. 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 Confess.
That was a brain dead play.
Confess. 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 Pass. 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 Pass.
Blab
Blab doing?
stops
Oh my-
to emote. What a stereotypical before emote. That is such a costly mistake. Oh no, don't let. Oh fucking man, they're so close! No, Scott, you popped the Valkyrie and then got off of the point.
Shame. 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 Shame, 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 shame,
They're here to contest the Sam Hawks Transcendence. What a waste! We're about to run our montage of all of the plays of the week from week 1, followed by our hand-selected bad plays of the week.